all I need is 5-10 minutes. Give me 5-10 minutes, and I can show you who top 5 is. This year has been a whole moment, man. I bust my ass for the opportunity. The day of the show, we got a packed house. We got fans chanting for me. We got fans booing Bacon. It was everything that you want in the story. Had a killer match. I felt like that was probably my favorite match this year. Been a fun journey, especially with Lucas. We just wanted to become Wrestling Open regulars. Ichiban was one that came out of nowhere. I always call him the evil genius because I truly believe that he's a genius in professional wrestling. Emotions start going. It's supposed to be me versus Gabe Kidd in a one-on-one match on Ring of Honor. And after that, 15 minutes went by and it was like, all right, plans changed. We got you, Flash and Kai versus House of Black. Not even 30 seconds, 45 seconds later. Never mind, we got you guys versus Righteous. And I'm like, all right, cool. Whatever you guys want. I'm just here to like hopefully get in the ring and just showcase what I can do too.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Another episode of Best for Business. I'm absolutely pumped for this one. Sammy Diaz, thank you for joining me.
Top 5, thank you for having me, baby. It's long overdue. We're finally get to do it.
Yeah, I was talking about it, I think, with my dad. I can't believe it. I think the first time I saw you, I was in like 6th or 7th grade for, I think it was like Nova Promotions. I was like one of 7 people in the crowd at the time.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's crazy, right? Those early years of shows that not even around anymore, promotions that's not even around anymore.
You're still killing it. You're still thriving now. As long as I've known you, you've been a part of Test of Strength. But prior to Test of Strength, were you at another school?
Yes, I started at PWA in 2017. I started there in January 2017, and I was there until the doors closed down. The owner moved down to Atlanta, so he closed up shop in Connecticut, and you know what I mean? Everybody has their own family and their own life. So when the doors closed in August, that's when I finally went to Test of Strength and started training.
So how long
made TOS my home.
So how long you at that school before it closes?
I was there 6 months before I got my first match. I was training from January up into July. I had my first match. It was a ladder royal match. It's a Royal Rumble style match, and when it's the final 6 competitors, it turns into a ladder match for a contract. And for my first match, I made it to the final 6, and I was in the ladder match for my debut. And so yeah, it was 6 months before I debuted July 7th, 2017, and yeah, that was my first match, and my first one-on-one match came a month after that in August against Hippie Dicky Moon at PWA, and I think the last show for PWA was in September, so I believe September was the time when I went to TOS and made TOS my home, and that's when I started training from there.
So when we talk about Sammy Diaz from that first match you ever had to your most recent, what has been the transformation you'd say for Sammy Diaz? How have you evolved in pro wrestling?
Oh man, I'm just more confident, more just prepared. In my first match, I was just so nervous and just you're just excited for your first matchup, and compared to now, just the experience level and just being more comfortable in the ring and being able to be in the ring and improvise on the fly if I need to, or just if something goes wrong, I'm not going to panic because I know things happen in wrestling. I haven't panicked when things do go wrong. So it's like just that level of experience is definitely what is the difference from the first match and now.
Yeah. And then to go with that, when we talk Test of Strength, for everything you've learned at Test of Strength up to now, what do you think has been like the biggest thing you've learned from whether it was Slyck or another trainer there?
From Slyck is definitely he's definitely something. He definitely installs psychology on us, locker room etiquette, and mainly just like how to tell a story. If you're like working a body part or anything, just stay on it, and just how to break it down and the reason why you're doing something in the ring. He's I always call him the evil genius because I truly believe that he's a genius in professional wrestling. He breaks down reasons why to do something, why not to do something, and how to do it, and how to do it better if you have an idea of how to do something, and he might have a way to tweak it or even just help you just put what's up here onto the mat. He's always good with that. So yeah, Wagner Brown has been definitely a big factor in my career. He's definitely been major help for me.
Now, to go with that, you said, what was it, in 2017 you started training?
Yeah, yeah.
So in 2018, you become the Test of Strength MVP. So how does that feel?
It was good. It was good. It felt great because the MVP was just mainly for like the students at the time and also the guys that were busting their ass really. And that's what it was. I up to that point when we won the MVP, unfortunately I had tore my ACL and I knew I had a great run that first I won't say rookie year, but my first year and a year and a half in touch of strength was good learning experience because I literally worked from the bottom and try to build my brand up and build myself up and bring my value up. And over the years, it's just been that first year, it was just winning that MVP was justification of what I was doing was doing the right thing and also busting my ass and showing that my hard work was paying off in the early years. So it was definitely something. It was a bittersweet moment because I won and not too long or before that I had surgery. So that's one that I always wish I got back and finally got it back this year. So.
Yeah. So to go with that, like I've told you, I've been watching you since I was in middle school. So I've been pretty much a Sammy Diaz mark my whole life. So one of the things I remember Sammy Diaz was being a part of was the firm. Now, explain to me how that idea came to be. Was that something that was your vision? And did the firm, were you technically the leader?
Well, you could say that, but we don't really
Okay.
consider ourselves a leader. You know,
Okay.
we all consider ourselves equals. We're all family, we're all
Nice.
brothers. But it started when I had my surgery. I was sitting at home, seeing Eli and Jay. They were together already. They debuted
Mhm.
together, and I just like what they were doing. Me and Eli had chemistry from when he started training at PWA. I was there from his day one, so to see him transition from PWA to Tested Strength, our chemistry was already there, and him and Jay had chemistry. So I remember one day I went to the dojo just to pop in and train and see what was going on, and Richie was there, and I was just we just found this, we just gelled, we just had a good connection. We had that same love for professional wrestling, and he was just hilarious. He was just one of those funniest. He's one of the funniest guys I've ever met, and me and him clicked good. So it was just like a pairing of me and him, and putting Jay and Eli together, and just finding a way we could all join together. And that happened at Lone Survivor in 2019 when I returned from my ACL surgery, and the rest was history from there. That Lone Survivor, that was the first time we debuted as the firm, and we went on, had a good run as long as it lasted,
Yeah.
and it was fun.
Yeah, and to go with that, you mentioned him, Elijah Six. Now, I'm curious, do you remember that first time meeting Elijah Six?
Yes, I do. I do. I remember training because I was in training. I want to say he came to PWA like 2 or 3 months after I got there, and I just remember a young kid that was hungry just like me, and I remember we was doing laps around the building, and I was pretty athletic and pretty dusting everybody, but I just remember him keeping up with me, and I was just like, okay, I can see he wants it, and he passed me, and I was like, oh, this little young punk. So it was just that competitor in me that just naturally grew to him because I wanted somebody to be able to be there to push me, and I wanted to push my other peers and training partners to the best ability that we can.
And then to go with that, what did it feel like to win the Test of Strength Championship with Elijah Six?
Yeah, the tag team championship,
Yeah.
that was a great moment because we were chasing it for damn near a year, and we had a long history rivalry with the Kowalski guys, Wagner Brown and Jay Freddy. And when we finally won it at Undeniable, it was one of those moments I won't forget because not only did the fans react as if they were happy when we were the bad guys,
Mhm.
and because they kind of felt the same way, like it was long overdue, but it's good when things happen like that organically because the moment's more special when everybody reacts the same way. And even the locker room gave us some praises backstage, so that was pretty cool too.
Yeah, so when I look up Sammy Diaz, your resume just keeps going and going, especially at Test of Strength. So tell me about the K1 champion becoming that champ.
Yeah, the K1 Championship was another one that I had on my bucket list when I first seen that it was announced. It was called the K1 Cup because it was a
Mhm.
tournament to crown a trophy winner. And Brother Greatness and Hippie Dicky Moon made it to the finals. I cost Dicky the match, and Greatness was the first ever K1. And I want to say not too long after that, 3, 4 months later, I faced Greatness in the training day and in the triple threat match, and that's when I won it from him in a three-way against Brother Greatness and TJ Howard III. And yeah, and when I won that, that was just one that I wanted to make different. I made a goal to make that like the workhorse title. I said I want to defend it every month against anybody who ever wants to step up. And when I did that, it's still kind of a tradition now, up to now when Wagner Brown has it. But it's always been a tradition to try to make that title the workhorse title. And I feel like I was the first one to do that. Mike Scarrows went on to do it next, and Ichiban took it to another level from there when he won it. So yeah, it was I set out a goal to do something, and the people after me were able to excel in that, and that's what I wanted to bring out of that title to make it the workhorse title. And these guys, Skyros and Ichiban, did way more than I could with the title, so I'm happy for their success with it. But yeah, it was one that I'm happy with the success I had with it when I did have it.
So when you talk about wanting to make it the workhorse title, do you have like one defense or one match of being the K1 champ that really stands out to you?
One the night I lost it was a cool match. I one of my favorites from that year. It was me versus Mike Scarros and Brian Pillman Jr. in a three-way, and
Mhm.
that was in March. So I want to say 2020, right before pandemic, I believe. So it was that was one that I was happy with before the shutdown of the world happened, that
Yeah.
I could sit back and watch until we get back in the ring. But that was one that I enjoyed, and another one that I really enjoyed was when I rematched for it, but I didn't win it. It was a match with Mike Skyros at House Rules.
So when I was looking at your resume, it kept going and going. So we talked about it earlier, the 2018 Test of Strength MVP, but this year, the 2024 Male Wrestler of the Year for Test of Strength. So after all these years of putting in that hard work, that must have felt good.
Yeah, man, it felt good because it still feels like getting that stamp that I'm still busting my ass, working hard, and trying to be a leader to the younger guys and leading by example to try to show them the right way and to never give up on yourself. You know, I've been at the dojo for a long time, and for the young guys that might not have hope or just in a rough patch that I've been in myself in the past, where it's just feel like things aren't going right or things are might not be going my way at the moment. It's just staying true to yourself, staying true to the grind, trying to stay consistent and trying to show and prove to yourself that you can be who you want to be, and just believing in it, having that self belief that it can't happen as long as you still stay consistent and put the work in.
Yeah, speaking of putting in the work in October 18th, that must day also be special. The day you win the Test of Strength Championship. Like you mentioned, this was technically your second home, but you've been spent hours at the dojo putting in the work, grinding there to win the Test of Strength Champion to become the Triple Crown, right? How'd that
Yes,
feel?
sir. That felt great, man. That was
Yeah.
a special moment. That was probably like my favorite moment this year because it was just like years of chasing that title, years of wanting to be a leader, of the one who closes the show. You know, I want to be the one who's always been in position to close the show. I feel like I've proved that over the years. I've bust my ass and represented for our school the right way. You know, kept my head down, worked my ass off, and finally achieved that goal of being Texas Strength champion. And just after that match, the reaction from the fans, the reaction from the locker room, it felt great because everybody kept saying the same thing, that it was long overdue, that I deserve it, that I earned it. But it was just it was one of those moments that you just I was I was tearing up in the ring, Flash was tearing up in the ring, Ichi's tearing up in the ring. So it was like one of those moments you have with your friends that you traveled the road with, and you know that hard work is paying off. And that was a special moment for me to see it for sure. Winning that title was number one for me this year. It's long overdue, but like LeBron James said, it's about damn time.
Yeah. So to go with that, we talk about pro wrestling, the first ever. So becoming the first Legacy is Timeless champion. What has that meant to you, and what has been your overall takes on Legacy is Timeless? Have you been with them since the first show?
Yeah, I was with the first show. We was in the first tournament for Legacy is Timeless. We had a couple benefit shows that was leading up to it. There was one show that we didn't. I didn't know it was going to become a full-on show or roster or whatever. I just thought it was going to be a one-off benefit show that happened. I remember the first show was me versus Alec Price in the main event. It was supposed to be Ichiban versus Alec, but something happened. Ichiban couldn't make it, so they put me against Alec, and we main evented the first show ever. And after that, I think it was another benefit show, and then it became more than just a benefit show. It was just a show that we had in New England, another promotion that we had in New England, and something it's like a sister relationship with Test of Strength and other promotions in New England. Everybody works hard together to make those happen. But Legacy is Timeless is to be the first champion. It's a special meaning for me because the championship has all the faces of all the legends from yesterday. You got Killer Kowalski, the Wagner Browns on it, Eddie Edwards, all the legends from New England and the Kowalski school. So just knowing that I'm representing them and also representing my dojo, being a Kowalski student lineage from Wagner Brown. So it's a big deal for me being the first champion, but I also just want to make sure that I represent the right way and making sure I do that the proper way for the legends that came before me.
Yeah, and to go with that, we've mentioned his name a few times, Ichiban. So what has been the transformation you've seen of Ichiban? Because you were training first, and then a few years later, Ichiban came along, right?
Yeah, Ichiban was one that came out of nowhere. His first match ever was, I want to say I always say it's me jokingly, but he had a match before that. It was just like a little tryout match that was supposed to be a battle royal, and there was nobody there for a battle royal, so he just had a one-on-one match at training
Yeah.
day. So then the next month, we announced that it was going to be me versus Ichiban, and we just built up a little couple vignettes to try to help him build some character. And we did like the Sting promo where he's on the roof looking at us like we thought he was looking for us. But yeah, we just try to do anything to help him build his character. And the match we had, I think it was the perfect one for it to be his first, like his to showcase what he can do. And being able to see him from that match to the previous match that we just had at Legacy is Timeless to crown the first ever champion, it's been amazing to see him from day one. He's been my favorite opponent, my favorite training partner. He's been one of those iron sharpened iron partners. You know, he's one that brings the best out of me every time I step into the ring, and I would like to think that I bring the best out of him. And there's no one I probably have more chemistry with in the ring than him because we could just go in there. We spent so many years and hours training together, and to just know each other like the back of each other's hand. I know what he's gonna do before he does it. He knows what I'm gonna do before I do it. And yeah, that's my brother, man. I don't. There's nobody I'd rather wrestle or tag up with than Ichiban.
Yeah, and to go with that, with Sammy Diaz, I'm curious. How does the conversation start for adding Sammy Diaz to the Church of Greatness? Because, like you mentioned, you do a lot of travel, Ichiban, all that. Wrestling Open is killing it, and then Sammy Diaz makes his way into it.
To be honest, I was the first member of the church. A lot of
That's
people might
right.
not
Yeah,
know
yeah,
this.
yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
people might not know this that
Yeah.
me and Eli and Brother Greatness created the church.
That's
It
how it
was just
started. Yep.
that's how it started, and then uh things happened. You know, you start adding more people to the group. Uh, Church of Greatness started becoming a laughing stock a little bit. He started adding too much people in it. And then Brother Greatness found himself in some trouble and he needed some help again. So when the talk was when I came back because I had dislocated my elbow 2020, I'm gonna say 2023 or 2022. I don't really remember, but dislocated my elbow and I spent some time on the shelf for like 3 months. And the talk was coming back to join the Church of Greatness, and I was like, yeah, but I don't want to do the same thing we was doing before. I want to make sure that I want to make sure we get to choose who's in the group. Let's make sure that we decide what are we gonna do and how we're gonna do it. And yeah, we were me and the Church of Greatness, me and Lucas, Tyree, Brother Greatness, and Ichiban. Now Ichiban. Yeah, it started off with me, Lucas, and Tyree, and Greatness coming back. I want to say last year, and we had a couple goals that we wanted to set out this year and to see them play out. It's been a fun journey, especially with Lucas. We just wanted to become Wrestling Open regulars. We were always featured here and
Mm.
there, but we wanted to be featured like every week or every other week. Just wanted an opportunity to showcase what we can do on a weekly basis. And when the opportunity presented itself, we I like to say we think we capitalized on that. So we're there. We're in steel cage warfare. We had that on our bucket list at the beginning of this year. We said let's beat the group in steel cage warfare if there's the steel cage match. Let's just make sure we do our part this year to stay afloat and make sure we try to make it in that match if it's there. And luckily for us, we had a rivalry with the ranch and it's there this year. So we finally accomplishing some more goals.
Yeah, I remember a few weeks ago, I forgot what number Wrestling Open, but you guys do a 5-on-5 against Big Business. And I remember when you
Yes.
came out, the crowd was electric. I had goosebumps over at the commentary table. So tell me about teaming with Lucas Chase, because before you team with him, were you familiar with him? Like, have you wrestled him a few times?
Yeah, I've wrestled him one time at Tetsu, and I'm familiar with him just in general because he's from Connecticut. Also, he's a Bridgeport guy, New Haven area, and we wrestled a bunch of shows. I wrestled with him at PAPW, BST, Texas Strength. He was the former TOS Tag Team Champion, I believe, with Danny Miles. I could be mistaken. I don't remember too much, but yeah, it was I believe it was Danny Miles and Lucas, but. Yeah, I seen him around a lot, and then we was just at one time we was just in the locker room and Wrestling Open, and there was a opening for a tag team, and we was like, "Hey, bro, like we could make something out of this." I don't know what it is. We didn't know yet. Like when we was like join the Church of Greatness again, we was like, "Let's make the most out of it so we could be on the roster and like hopefully get some stories and make showcase what we could do." And I feel like that's what we did, and to see Lucas still be on the grind with me, and it's been a fun journey with him. I mean, I never expected it, but it
Yeah.
just something that naturally we got that natural chemistry. We got a lot of things in common. We're both fathers. We both have families. So we had a lot of we had a couple car rides on to Maine, so we had a lot of bonding time. And yeah, he's the man. I wouldn't have another person in my corner to fight with me.
So you talked about a little earlier steel cage warfare. That was a goal going into 2024. You said you wanted to be a part of it. Is this like your first war game style match you're ever going to be a part of, or have you done some before?
God, this is my first one. I've been in a cage match at XWA against Stephen Lust, but this is my first ever war games type of match. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to war with my bros. You know what I mean? I got Ichibano by my side. I got Lucas by my side. I got Tyree. I got Brother Greatness watching over our back. So, it's gonna be a good one. I mean, I wouldn't want to go to war with anybody else besides those guys. So really looking forward to it.
Yeah, when we talk about first time ever, earlier this year you got to wrestle Masha Slamovich. So tell me about that match. Does Sammy Diaz do a lot of intergender wrestling?
No, that was my probably my first one-on-one intergender
Uh,
wrestling match. That was my first one, to be honest. I've wrestled females like in scrambles or triple
yeah.
threat match. I did a fatal four-way with Masha back at Bliss Creek back in the first year I was there. It was me, TJ Crawford, Masha, and I want to say Scotty Wild. I want to say
Wow.
Scotty.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was before, like, she was in TNA, before she was kicking ass in GCW. So she was still out here making a name for herself. But like She's still tough. She's still as tough as she was back then. So even not, if not even tougher. So to see her grow from back then to now and to get a match in while she's Knockouts champion, that was pretty cool to see her growth and to have a moment in the ring after the match and tell her how I'm happy for her. And I told her that she's a killer. She's the real deal.
Yeah.
She pushed through and she's the truth. I got nothing but respect for Masha.
And then when I think of Sammy Diaz, two also competitors I also think of Sammy Diaz with. I didn't know you guys had a group name, but tell me about the Miracle Generation. Beast Coast, is it?
Yes, sir. Beast Coast, Miracle Gen at Blitzkrieg Pro. When the three of us are together, we got Beast Coast. It was something that just happened organically. We was again three best friends that travel the roads with each other. We just showed up to the show, and I think it was a 6-man tag that we had, and we had a banger. And then the next month, we knew we had another 6-man tag, and we had another banger. So we find ourselves in those matches where there's groups like Young, Dumb, and Broke and Mad Main Event. We had a lot of 6-man tags that were bangers and fun at Blitzkrieg. So those are my boys again. I mean, I think they're the best tag team in New England. In the States, I could be biased, those are my boys. So
Yeah.
I'm always say that. So yeah, man, those boys are crazy. Those are every time I share the ring with them, their minds are kind of like mine. They're similar to the way they think is the way I think, and the way Ichiban thinks also. Like we're all wired the same. So I think that's why like we all try to push each other to be the best versions of each other. So yeah, that's our group chat. We got a group chat and we just text each other every day, and like Ichiban just sends number one back and we just translate that as
So one of my favorite things that you got to do this year, I was there for. Sammy Diaz makes his Ring of Honor debut team with Matt Magnum to take on the Righteous. During the match, we hear top five chants and everything. So that moment must have been cool, and especially against somebody like Vincent, who's also a New England guy.
hell yeah, that was a cool one. That was a cool one, man. That day was roller coasters of emotions. We were just chilling backstage, and they just called me over, like Sammy, come here. We might have something for you. So I was like, you get ready for those moments. You prepare for those moments. So like emotions start going. It's supposed to be me versus Gabe Kidd in our one-on-one match on Ring of Honor after the show. So it's like I got like 15 minutes to go process that. I'm like, holy shit, this is really about to happen. Let's go. This is my moment. This is my
Yeah.
breakout moment. Gabe Kidd is hot as can be right now. And I was like, oh yeah, let's go have this. I think we had like 10 to 12 minutes we could go play with. And it was just like, all right, let's go do it. Let's go do the damn thing. And then after that, 15 minutes went by and it was like, all right, plans changed. We got you, Flash and Kai versus House of Black. Not even 30 seconds, 45 seconds later. Never mind, we got you guys versus Righteous. And I'm like, all right,
Wow.
cool. Whatever you guys want. I'm just here to like hopefully get in the ring and just showcase what I can do to hopefully get another opportunity and just again just showcase and be ready. But yeah, that was an awesome moment just to be in the ring and to hear the fans always it's always it's always cool to see them and to see them chant top five while I'm in the ring waiting for Righteous to come out. That was pretty cool. And just hearing everybody just yell my name, just trying to get my attention. It was cool because I wrestle a lot out here in Providence and throughout New England. To see fans that I see at indie shows, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, my dad, he might not admit it, but he was marking out chanting top five for you too.
Let's go. That's good. Let's go, baby.
Was that your first time ever? Have you ever wrestled Matt Magnum or no?
I haven't wrestled with him or against him. We tagged against each other, so no, I haven't never wrestled with him.
So, and also speaking of AEW,
That was
what
my
was
first. That was my first interaction with him. Actually, that day was my first
I?
ever
I
like
mean, for a first time
meeting.
ever team with, that's not a bad thing to say.
Yeah, no, it's just, it's cool.
And then to go with that, what was the other thing you did? Was it with the male models? Was it?
Oh yeah, yeah, MXM. It was I was just Jeff.
Yeah, that's right.
I was Jeff. I was Jeff. They was got an invite to come to Grand Slam, and again showing up, being ready for anything, showing up and being ready again, and the opportunity presented itself to become a model on TV. I was like, let me see the suit, and I seen the pimp suit, and I was like, oh, that's right up my stilo, baby. Let me see that. I threw the jacket on, threw the pants. I threw my own personal Gucci belt that I had over it, and then I had the pimp the cane. So it was pretty cool, you know. But they gave us the little the face mask, and it was cool. It was a little 15 seconds of fame, but
Yeah.
we got to beat up Billy Gunn for a little bit before the claim came out. So that was pretty cool to do something with Billy Gunn. I've been watching him since I was a kid on TV. So just to be in the ring with Billy Gunn, that was awesome.
So another thing I wanted to ask you about, one of my favorite things for Sammy Diaz nowadays, when did you officially start doing the top five vlogs?
The top five vlog started, I want to say earlier this year, and or late towards last year. I want to say, I'm sorry. And it's just something that just I wanted something to do. I want to say I was camera shy or anything like that. I was just I wanted to make sure that I had a little something I could go back to and watch just in case, because they always say you never know when you're living in the good old times. So I just wanted to I wanted to have something to look back on years from now and to have something of my own that I don't have to have copyrights or anything to anybody to look back at my matches or anything. So it was just something I wanted to track and something I want to do for myself and for the boys. You know, we have fun on the road, and why not pull out the camera and just record it and showcase it to the fans that might want to get a little bit behind the scenes or want to know who top five is or who the other favorite wrestlers that I hang around, how they are. So it was just trying to get more exposure for myself, trying to get the fans to know who I am better, and ultimately trying to just do something for myself and the boys and the fans, trying to give them something to go watch if they need something to go watch or if they want to find out who I am again. So yeah, that was pretty much it. Trying to have something to go back to 5, 10 years from now to see how I was, you know.
So to go with that, I've known Sammy Diaz. Like I said, I was watching you in middle school. But when did you officially start calling yourself top five dead or alive?
Top five that are alive happened when I was TOS Tag Team Champions with Elijah
Okay.
Six. We were joking, like we always had nicknames for ourselves. I was always the ace, but that was more given to me from my trainers and Alex Rojas and Wagner. They called me the ace because I was just the ace in the dojo. I was the one who was always showing up early, staying late, just putting the work in, and it just they gave me that name, and I just ran with it. And I try to represent the best I could when they gave that to me. But top five that are alive happened because we was in the ring one night and doing the in-ring intros for the tag team titles. Eli grabbed the mic from the announcer. He said, "When you announce me, make sure you announce the greatest of all time, your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler." And then after he did it, and then he went to go say my name, I just grabbed it, just being a dickhead, and just
Yeah.
like, all right, when you say my name, make sure you say the ace, top five that are alive, Sammy
Wow.
Diaz. And that's how it happened. And then from there, I was like, I might have something because it just naturally grew. The fans started saying it. As I said, top five, they would say dead or alive. And I was like, okay, I think I got something. So let's just keep running with it. And that's how it happened. And now we top five. We had top five titles last month. And yeah, now it took off. It was something that I felt like I needed to enhance who I was. The music helps, the merch helps, and having the great performances help also. And calling yourself top five, you gotta live up to that expectation. You can't call yourself top five and not even be top five, you know?
Yeah. So you mentioned one of the things that I want to ask you about. I think one of everyone's favorite things about Sammy Diaz. When did you start coming out to that theme song that you do right now, Plain Jane?
Yeah, it was 2022. I want to say it was 2022, at the beginning of 2022 or the end of 2021. It was, I could be wrong. It could be like 2021 going into 2022, but around that time, I was just I had the Firm theme song. I used to like it, and then it was just like I turned to Babyface, and I was like, I can't come out with this no more, so I gotta just find something that's gonna. And then I just remember sitting in the car driving, and it came on, and I was like, this sounds good. Like this sounds good in the
Yeah.
speakers. It sounds good, and I'm like, I think I want this song, and I just sent it to the promotions like, yeah, this is my theme. This is my song now. So ever since then, it just naturally grew, and now you got fans chanting, singing it before I come out, and as I'm coming into the ring, they're still singing it, and as the hook comes on, they're singing it. So yeah, I get messages, and I get they come up to me at shows like, "Yo, I heard your song the other day on the radio, and I thought about you." And I'm like, "That's cool," because like I get that a lot. I get that a
Yeah.
lot. Like when people hear that song, they automatically think about me, and that's ultimately what I wanted also. So to get that, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and to go with that, at the beginning of the year, you said it. One of your goals was to become a Wrestling Open regular too. So to go
Yep.
with that, having the main event, real as it gets, against Big Bacon for the Wrestling Open title, those opportunities just don't come to anybody. So what did that match mean to you?
Yeah, you're right. You're right that those don't come to anybody. I bust my ass for the opportunity. I worked my ass off. I felt like up to that point where I won the number one contender spot, I proved that I can go in the ring. Show everybody knows it in the locker room. Everybody knows it there. So it was just working my way to getting the opportunity. And when the opportunity came to become number one contender against Tina Thomas, that was one that I was excited for because I haven't wrestled Chan in a long time, and I know his history too, like training under Bo and then going elsewhere. He's also a Kowalski guy lineage, so he's my guy. And and to finally win that one and then finally get the not just the match with Bacon, but to get the platform and to tell my story from part one to part three, and to get the story over who Sammy Diaz is, and to finally the day of the show, we got a packed house. We got fans chanting for me. We got fans booing Bacon. It was everything that you want in the story. It was the underdog from the underground, and you got the arrogant champion that hasn't been defeated. So it was just to have everybody on my side that one night, and to have them still on my side. But that night right there was one that meant so much to me because for the longest of time, I always wanted the main event, wrestling open show 1-on-1, and we did it. We had a packed house. We had a killer match. I felt like that was probably my favorite match this year, even though it ended kind of shitty. But that was probably one of my favorite ones I had this year. Just the story we told, and just the wrestling part of it, the everything in between. I don't have a lot of good things to say about Bacon, but I do have a lot of respect for him in the ring. He's a hell of a competitor. But yeah, man, he brought the best out of me, and I want to think that I pushed him to his limit that night, and that was one that I was happy with after the match. I got a lot of praise from after, and that was definitely one that's one I hold close to the heart because I worked so hard to get that opportunity, and it felt like it was paying off, and then it did. Even though I didn't win, it was one of those. Even in defeat, I don't feel like I lost, but that was one of those moments that uh, was special for me. The Wrestling Open Real as it gets main event.
So, speaking of moments, one of my favorite moments from this year for you was winning my probably my favorite title in the independent scene, the Skywalker title. So, like we know, like it's not like the other titles in wrestling. Like you have like some sort of say. It started with Anthony Green, and then goes to Ichiban, and then goes to you. So, seeing that lineage, what has that meant to you? And you can defend that wherever. It's not like a certain companies or something like that.
Yep, yep. I've defended it. I defended it at Live Pro. Defended it at BST.
Yeah.
Yeah, that title's one of my favorite ones. It's a beautiful design. It's I can defend it anywhere. I've defended it against Landon Hale, Bobby Orlando. I won it against Ichiban. And to hold it now and represent uh, one of the faces of New England, you had AG, probably one of the Mount Rushmores of New England. You got Ichiban, the future of New England, the future professional wrestling. And then you got me, someone that's representing and holding it down right now. So I got a long list of guys that's I'm gonna face next year. I made a goal of defending it against those guys, and let's see if one of those guys could be the ones to take it from me. So I'm uh I'm giving them the opportunity to step up. I'm defending it wherever. So I could show you that list later on or whatever. I got a
Yeah.
short list of guys, you know what I mean? But my goal is to make those matches happen. So yeah, I'm planning on making that happen. More defenses this year, going into next year.
Yeah, when he first told me the idea for the title, like I was like, bro, like let it go like to one champion, and then let me have the belt after that. But I've been happy to see all the success you've had. So another match you talked about wrestling Landon Hale. What did it feel like to you to become the BST
BST,
Blood, Sweat, and
bless.
Tears? My bad.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. It's good. Landon, he's a good brother. You know, I had this little. I remember one time I told Gina in the ring when I had beat Ichiban for the Skywalker title. It was more. I was happy I won the title. I wasn't too happy that I took it away from Ichiban. You know,
Yeah.
that's my brother. I didn't want to take anything away from him. I kind of felt the same way when I beat Landon. He's a good brother. He's a nice guy, but at the end of the day, it's competition. And I wanted what he had. He wanted what I had. It was a title for title match, and it was either mine's or his. So obviously, I had to make the most out of the opportunity, and now I'm here as your BST champion. But that was another good one. That was another fun one. He's one crazy SOB. He's tough. He's a lunatic, but he's one of the good ones. I like Landon, so nothing but respect for him too.
What is it like to like take that photo? I think it's like one of my favorite photos of 2024. Just sitting there, sort of like Ultimo Guerrero style or Ultimo Dragon style with like 5 titles.
Yeah, yeah, man. That was another one that I was after the show. It happened after Alexia's timeless after I defended the title against Jay Freddy. I was supposed to take pictures before the show, but me being me, I wasn't ready, dressed or whatever. I don't like to put
Yeah.
my knee pads on and knee braces on when I go on last because it just makes my legs tight. And yeah, I just didn't I didn't want to get ready. So after the show, after the match, I brought the photographer with me and I was like, yo, take this picture. I got this vision in my head that I want to put to life. And it was a little inspired off the Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan when they're
Yeah.
in the bathroom with their with the trophy on in their hand or on the ground. So I was like, let me just put my trophies on the ground and put my ring jacket on. It was one of the dopest photos I've took, and to have it, it was just one of those justifying feelings and justifying moments that like my hard work is paying off, but also like, bro, you really doing it right now. I remember when I won the PvP championship, it was I was in the ring and I was just like, yo, what the hell is happening? You got 5 belts. And one of the boys in the back brought up to me like, yo, I don't know if you know this, but I don't think I know anybody that had 5 belts at one time or four belts like this. Obviously, there's other guys like Ultimo Dragon, but like as an indie guy around the area, I don't remember someone that had 5 belts. So make sure you cherish this moment and acknowledge what you're doing right now because it's kind of special and kind of cool. So it's like when I started to think about that, I was like, yeah, that is pretty cool. That is pretty like dope right now that I got everybody on my side. And as far as like the fans and the reactions I'm getting each time I win a different title or just won the first one, it was just a satisfying feeling that the fans are still riding with me and stuck through the mud with me. So yeah, man, that was good feeling, crazy.
What was it like earlier this year to win the PvP Rumble?
That was another one that was one I had on the bucket list. I was just like, I didn't win last year. I got eliminated from Chris Benet uh, last year. So look at that. But yeah, again, and then we made it to the finals this year. It was me and Chris Benet. And I just didn't want to lose again, man. I didn't want to lose. And the reaction I got from the fans is probably one of the loudest reactions I've got all year. And it was a special one because I felt like we all won together. You know,
Mhm.
it was us against the Benet family, us against I don't want to say big business, but I was feuding with big business up to that point at PvP. I went through TJ Crawford, Russell Bacon, had tag matches with Brick City. So it was just like we all did this together. And it was just like everybody was riding with me that night. And it was just like we all did it together. We all eliminated Chris Benet together. And that reaction that I got after the match, it was one that I definitely won't forget.
One of the places that you've been, I feel, really thriving at this year was Fight Life. Do you have one match that sticks out to you at Fight Life?
Fight Life, yeah. One match that sticks out to me is my match against Flash Waller at the first show they had in Connecticut. I think it
Mhm.
was I forgot the name of it, but yeah, it was I think it was in May. And yeah, man, we had a great match. Another one I really enjoyed was against Bufa. I even liked the match with Seabass, even though I lost. I had a lot of fun in that one. He caught me by surprise. I didn't think he was gonna do that, but one I really enjoyed was the one with Bufa. I liked the
JT
one
Dunn,
with
you had a good
JT.
one.
I had a good one with JT. Yeah, that was another good one. Again, man, you put me in there with anybody. I feel like I have a good match with anybody, especially in Fight Life. The rosters, I'm familiar with a lot of the guys. We go way back. I want to say it's like the XWA roster, but you see a lot of the guys that came up through that era and that time that we was all young in the locker room, and now we're all grown to become different performers. You got so many guys that's doing great things like KC that come through the locker. You got Sammy Guevara that was XWA champion. You got JT still out here doing this thing. You got so many guys that are at a different level now, and we are on Fight Life, and crossing paths with those guys in the ring is always a special moment because we see how far we've come to now. We're on Fight TV or Thriller, whatever you want to call it, to showcase what we still could do and to see us still grinding. It's crazy to see some of the guys that evolve throughout the years, man.
How did you get the nickname the King of the Scrambles there?
King of Scrambles, I won like two in a row and three in a row, maybe. And then it was just like, you know what? I'm the King of the Scrambles. Jimmy Lloyd took offense to it. We had a little short rivalry that could have been played off or finished better, but he had a busy schedule. So I don't know if we'll ever go back to it. Maybe, maybe not. But I don't like Jimmy Lloyd. But yeah, I'll still be the King of the Scrambles. You know what I mean? I'm the king of the Speed Demon. There you go,
That's
Speed
right.
Demon. Speed Demon.
Yeah, and to go with that, when I was doing my tape study on Sammy Diaz, you performed in some pretty cool venues. Is there one throughout your career that really sticks out to you?
There's a lot of cool ones. I don't want to be cheesy, but there's nothing like the White Eagle, man. There's
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
the White Eagle Enfield for Blitzkrieg. That's always a favorite one for me. I just went to MCW in Maryland back in I want to say October with Flash and Ichi, and that was a beautiful venue. It reminded me something similar to XWA. They had their own like production team, their own entranceway, beautiful setup like, under the lights, and that was a beautiful one. But for me, my favorite one probably has to be either Enfield, Connecticut for Blitzkrieg or the world famous White Eagle. Just the energy that's in those rooms. I don't really care how nice it is, or I don't really care how small or how big a venue is. If there's energy in the room, if there's something that you can't explain, when everybody's involved and everybody's just so into it, it brings the performance from the wrestlers so much to another level. And those are the two places that I feel like the most magic happens for a lot of moments. Not saying that there's no magic other places, but moments those fans when they're into it, those are special moments for me. And those are two venues that stick to my heart because I just automatically think back to those to the energy. That's where I go. That's what I stick to, the energy.
So when we look at Sammy Diaz's career, we've name dropped a lot of people. Who would you say are like Sammy Diaz's biggest mentors or people you've learned the most from in pro wrestling?
Mentors, Wagner Brown for sure. You could throw Dickie Moon early in my career. He was one that helped me out so much just from learning the lucha style or just high flying and just trying to ways to bump the correct way or just early in my career, he was definitely a big help in me. Um, Bobby Ocean, he's another one that was early in my career that took a liking to me and took me under his wing also early in the dojo. Alex Rojas, he's one I could always ask about anything and talk to. But yeah, guys that like that I those are guys that I look up to are just mentors or just help me so much. But guys now that I'm just traveling with, those are the guys that like help me the most, that keep me level headed and keep each other sane. Those are the guys that I look to the most, you know. Flash, Ichi, Kai, uh, Tyree, Lucas, Greatness. So many guys that I have good relationships with that we just lean on each other to just help each other. Try to, because this game is mentally draining. It's
Mhm.
physically draining, mentally draining. Because if you're not there all the way here, it's not gonna perform. You're not gonna perform the best of your ability. You might just be overthinking something and mess up, or just land wrong, or just get hurt yourself. But Yeah, you got to be mentally strong for this. And if you don't got a strong circle to motivate you and push you to be the best version of yourself, or just mentally focused, it's hard, man. So it's like you got to make sure you listen and to those that came before you, but also listen to yourself and listen to your body. But yeah, man, those are a lot of guys. Those are the guys that I really lean towards to. The guys that I'm around with now and the guys that helped me early on in my career. Like I still message Wagner from time to time. Like, yeah, you could watch this match for any feedback, or you could give me an advice or anything. You know, I always ask him for
Yeah.
anything. And likewise, he'll call me at freaking 5, 6 in the morning and ask me about something. So it was just like to know I got that good relationship with him. That was something that felt great to know that he called me at 6 in the morning to ask me for some advice or just anything, you know, that felt good to me. So yeah, man, those are the guys that those are my mentors and guys that I look forward to or look towards to if I need help with anything.
And to go with that, when we look at Sammy Diaz's career, what would you say have been like your most memorable moments or matches so far in your career?
Man, moments this year has been a whole moment, man. This
Yeah.
this whole year has been like everything that I've worked like towards to, you know, it might sound crazy, but I visualized this like in my head years ago, like not years ago, but like I want to say like last year, a couple years
Mhm.
ago. I just felt like if I could bust my ass, work hard, and get a relationship with the fans and do what I was doing, but to showcase that, I feel like the vlog helped with that. I feel like just wrestling going out more and getting more opportunities because the more opportunities you get, the more chances you could show that who you are and how you perform. So just for me, it was just all I need is 5, 10 minutes. Give me 5, 10 minutes, and I could show you who top five is. And that's all I ever wanted was an opportunity. All I wanted was a ring, and now we're just working, and a lot of cool things are happening. But like I said yesterday, I've been wrestling for 8 years, and 3, 4 years ago is when cool shit just started happening. So it's like if anybody gets discouraged or feel like they ever want to give up on themselves, don't give up on yourself because I never gave up on myself, and now I'm here with 4 championships, had five, doing a lot of good stuff this year. So it's just sticking through the grind, man. This whole year has been a moment for me, man. I'm just trying to carry this momentum going into 2025 and have more moments for me and for myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So to go with that, when you go on your Instagram, you have that pin post of everything you've accomplished this year. Like you said,
Yep.
this year's been huge for you. So in 2025, how do we top that? What are some goals top five's got?
That's the thing, man. I asked that, and a lot of people base success off of certain things. You know, it'd be cool to carry this momentum, have a lot of hot stuff going into next year. Hopefully, sign a contract. Obviously, that's the goal,
Yeah.
right? That's the dream to sign a contract and stuff. But yeah, I'm just gonna stay busy, trying to keep
Nice.
winning championships, keep having banger matches, more debuts. I want to travel more. I want to go to the West Coast. I want to go down south. I want to go up north. I want to go to Japan. I want to go to Mexico. You know, so it's
Yeah.
just if those opportunities ever present itself or if they happen, I'm just gonna make sure that I'm ready for that and hopefully keep some more momentum to hopefully rise the stock in Sammy Diaz and somebody sees that, you know what I mean? I'm hungry, I'm ready, and I'm just waiting for the opportunity.
Yeah. And to go with that, Sammy Diaz, I've ended every interview the same now. It's not going to happen anytime soon, but the day Sammy Diaz decides it's done, what do you want your legacy to be in pro wrestling?
I want my legacy to be that, you know what I mean? I bust my ass, I work hard. But I really want my legacy to be like how my heroes and the guys I looked up to I want to be remembered like that. I want to be an influencer for the younger generation. I want to help the younger guys in the future. You know, I want to be looked at how I look at Eddie Guerrero, how I look at AJ Styles or Shawn Michaels. You know, my heroes before me. I want to be that to a younger generation. I want to be that to the future of professional wrestling. And if I could inspire or motivate just one person, then that's enough for me. So I just want to be remembered how my heroes, like how I remember my heroes. So yeah, man, my legacy, we're still writing it right now.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you know what I mean, we still writing it. So we got a lot of long ways to go. So in New England, I just want to be a New England legend like the legends before me. I want to be remembered like the Killer Kowalskis. I want to be remembered like the Wagner Browns and the Tony Rumbles, the Bo Douglas, and so many others. You know, I just want to be remembered like that and those guys. You know.
Yeah. Well, Sammy, I want to thank you for doing this, and I want to thank you for everything. Like I said, I sent you the photo. I drew pictures of you when I was in like middle school, so thank you again for
Yeah,
everything.
Hey, I appreciate you, brother. You know, I mean, long overdue. Happy for,
Yeah.
to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And we'll do it again in 2025, baby. This is
Absolutely.
just the
Keep
beginning.
making
I'm happy
memories,
for
man.
that we're making memories, baby. And I'm happy for all your success to see
Thank you.
you from a middle school kid
Yeah.
to now having some banger interviews. You're killing it, bro.
Thank
You
you.
continue doing what you're doing. You're great on commentary. You're doing the damn thing, baby. So make sure you
Thank you,
keep
bro.
the good work up yourself, man.
Thank you, bro, for doing this. Thank you, Sammy Diaz, and thank you, everybody, for watching this episode. This was Best for Business.